I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into something a little different today. A philosophy, you might say, called the burnt toast theory.
Yeah, it's not like a scientific study or anything, but it's a thought-provoking way of looking at those little everyday annoyances we all experience.
Okay, so we're talking about things like, missing the bus or spilling coffee on your shirt.
Exactly. Those kinds of things, those little things that can really throw off your day.
And the burnt toast theory suggests that maybe we should be looking at these annoyances a little differently.
Yeah, instead of just getting frustrated, maybe we should consider the possibility that they might actually be saving us from something worse.
So like a cosmic protection system.
Sort of. It's like the universe is looking out for us in its own strange way.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Give me an example. How could something like burnt toast possibly be a good thing?
Well, the source material for this deep dive uses a pretty simple scenario. Imagine you're rushing to get out the door for work and you burn your toast.
Happens to the best of us.
Right. So you're a little annoyed. You have to make another piece of toast. And because of that, you're running a few minutes late.
Okay, I'm with you so far.
And because you're running late, you miss your usual train or bus. And because you miss your usual route, you end up taking a different road. And on that road, you avoid a massive traffic jam or maybe even an accident.
Whoa. Okay, so the burnt toast was like a detour sign from the universe.
Yeah, you could see it that way. It's like that little annoyance actually prevented you from experiencing something much more inconvenient or even dangerous.
That's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it like that.
It is, and it really makes you wonder how many times these little annoyances might actually be working in our favor.
So it's not about denying the frustration of the burnt toast. It's about recognizing that there might be a bigger picture at play.
Exactly. It's about shifting our perspective from immediate annoyance to the possibility of something beneficial.
All right, I'm starting to see the appeal of this burnt toast theory. But let's be real. Sometimes burnt toast is just burnt toast, right? Yeah. Not every little inconvenience is a sign from the cosmos.
Of course, this isn't about forcing positivity onto every situation. Life is full of ups and downs, and bad things do happen.
So the burnt toast theory isn't about guaranteeing a fairy tale ending. It's more about how we choose to respond to those setbacks.
Precisely. It's about training our minds to find those potential silver linings, even in the midst of challenges.
So how do we actually do that? How do we start applying this burnt toast theory to our lives? Should we all be carrying around pieces of burnt toast for good luck?
No, I wouldn't recommend that. You might get some strange looks, and it probably wouldn't be very effective. Yeah. Remember, the burnt toast theory is a mindset, not a superstition.
Okay, so it's about actively looking for those burnt toast moments in our lives and being open to the possibility that they might be guiding us towards something better.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that sometimes those little inconveniences, those detours, those disruptions, they might actually be opportunities in disguise.
That's a pretty radical shift in thinking.
It is, and it takes practice. But the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. The source material for this deep dive suggests a few practical steps for incorporating this theory into your daily life.
Okay, I'm ready to upgrade my mental toolkit. What's step one?
It all starts with awareness. Pay attention to those moments when things don't go according to plan. Maybe you spill your coffee, miss an important deadline, or get stuck in traffic. Instead of immediately spiraling into frustration, pause and ask yourself, what if this is a burnt toast moment?
So it's about catching yourself in that moment of initial annoyance and consciously choosing to reframe the situation.
Exactly. Don't try to force yourself to feel happy or positive that's not authentic or helpful. Acknowledge the inconvenience, but then shift your focus to the potential good that might emerge.
Okay, so let's say I'm stuck in traffic. I'm late for a meeting, feeling stressed and frustrated. How do I apply the burnt toast theory in that moment? It's not like I can just teleport to my destination.
You're right. You can't control the traffic, but you can control your response to it. Instead of fuming about the lost time, ask yourself, what if this traffic jam is actually a blessing in disguise?
But what if it's not? What if I miss the meeting and there are negative consequences?
That's a possibility. But remember, the burnt toast theory doesn't guarantee a positive outcome. It's about shifting your perspective, about being open to the possibility that something good might come from a seemingly negative situation.
So in that traffic jam, Maybe I use the time to make some important phone calls I've been putting off, or maybe I listen to that podcast I've been meaning to check out, or maybe I just take a few deep breaths and enjoy a moment of unexpected stillness.
Exactly. The silver lining might be something small and simple, or it might be something more significant. The key is to actively look for it, to be open to the possibility that this brain host moment might be leading you somewhere you wouldn't have expected.
I think the real challenge here is overcoming that initial negativity bias. Our brains are wired to focus on the negative, to see the threats and the problems. It takes a conscious effort to flip that switch and start looking for the good.
You're absolutely right. And that's where the practice comes in. The more you consciously choose to reframe those setbacks, the easier it becomes. It's like building a muscle.
It's interesting because as we've been talking, I've been thinking about some of the major turning points in my life. Those moments that felt like setbacks at the time, but ultimately led to incredible opportunities. It's almost as if those challenges were necessary to push me in a new direction.
That's a powerful insight, and it speaks to the idea that sometimes those burnt toast moments are actually catalysts for growth and transformation. They force us out of our comfort zones and open us up to new possibilities.
You know, there's a quote from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus that comes to mind. Every difficulty in life presents us with an opportunity to turn inward and to invoke our own submerged inner resources. The trials we endure can and should introduce us to our strengths.
That's a perfect encapsulation of the burnt toast theory. It's not about denying the difficulty, but rather recognizing its potential to help us discover our own resilience and strength.
So in a way, this burnt toast theory is like a modern-day version of ancient wisdom. It's about finding that balance between acceptance and optimism, recognizing that even in the midst of challenges, there's always potential for growth and positive change.
Beautifully put, and that leads us to another important question. Is there a downside to thinking this way? Are there potential pitfalls we should be aware of?
That's a great point. We've been singing the praises of the burnt toast theory, but I'm sure there are nuances and limitations we need to consider. We've been talking about nuances and limitations to consider about this burnt toast theory.
Yeah, it's all been very positive so far, but there are definitely some things to keep in mind.
Okay, so what's the biggest danger here? Is it possible to take this look for the silver lining approach too far?
Oh, absolutely. One potential pitfall is using the burnt toast theory to justify staying in a situation that's actually harmful or unhealthy.
Like what kind of situation are we talking about here?
Well, for example, someone might use the theory to downplay a toxic work environment, thinking, well, maybe this awful boss is teaching me valuable lessons about resilience.
Right. So they're basically using the burnt toast theory as an excuse to avoid dealing with a real problem.
Exactly. It's important to remember that this theory isn't about blindly accepting every negative situation as a blessing in disguise.
So there are times when it's necessary to recognize a situation as genuinely bad and take steps to change it.
Right. The burnt toast theory should empower us, not trap us.
It's about reframing our perspective, not distorting reality.
Exactly.
So it's about finding that balance between acceptance and action, right? Accepting the things we can't control while also taking proactive steps to change the things we can.
Exactly. Another potential pitfall is using the burnt toast theory to dismiss or minimize other people's experiences.
How so?
For instance, telling someone who's just lost their job, oh, well, maybe this is an opportunity for you to find something better, can come across as insensitive and invalidating.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's important to remember that everyone experiences setbacks differently.
Right. What might be a minor inconvenience for one person could be a major upheaval for another.
So the burnt toast theory is a personal tool for reframing our own experiences, not for judging or dictating how others should feel.
That's a really important point to remember. Empathy and compassion are crucial, especially when others are going through difficult times.
So in a nutshell, the burnt toast theory shouldn't be used as a shield to avoid uncomfortable emotions, either ours or other people's.
Exactly.
And it's not about bypassing the negative or pretending everything is okay. It's about acknowledging the difficulty and then choosing to look for the potential good that might exist alongside it.
Beautifully put. And that brings us to another important point. The burnt toast theory is not about passivity.
So it's not about sitting back and waiting for the universe to magically deliver those silver linings.
Right. It's about taking an active role in shaping our own experiences.
So it's not just about changing our mindset, it's about changing our actions as well.
Exactly. The burnt toast theory provides a framework for thinking about setbacks. But it's up to us to take the initiative to seize those opportunities to create our own silver linings.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like we're all given a set of ingredients, but it's up to us to decide what we're going to bake with them. We can choose to focus on the burnt parts, or we can get creative and whip up something delicious.
That's a wonderful analogy. The burnt toast theory is about recognizing that even in those moments when things go wrong, we still have choices.
Yeah, we can choose how we respond, how we learn, and how we move forward.
Exactly. And sometimes those burnt toast moments can actually lead to some pretty amazing things.
It's like that saying, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade.
Right. It's about finding the sweetness, even in the midst of sourness.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the burnt toast theory, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from this conversation?
Well, I think the most important thing to remember is that the burnt toast theory is not a magic formula. It's not a guarantee of happiness or success.
It's more like a tool, a way of looking at the world that can help us navigate those inevitable challenges and setbacks we all face.
Exactly. It's about cultivating a mindset of resilience, curiosity, and a willingness to see the good even when things get tough.
So the next time you find yourself facing a burnt toast moment, whether it's literal or metaphorical, remember to pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, what opportunity might be hidden within this challenge?
And how can I use this setback to move forward in a positive way?
That's a great takeaway. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the burnt toast theory. We hope you found it as thought-provoking and inspiring as we did. Until next time, stay curious and keep your toasters clean. Or maybe not.
Haha, yeah, maybe a little burnt toast is a good thing every now and then. Who knows?
So we were talking about potential pitfalls of always looking for silver linings.
Yeah, we don't want to just put blinders on and pretend like everything's hunky-dory when it's not.
So what's the line between healthy optimism and just, deluding ourselves?
Well, for one thing, this burnt toast theory, it shouldn't be used as a way to avoid taking responsibility for our own actions.
Okay, so if I make a mistake, I can't just say, oh, well, it's probably a burnt toast moment in disguise, and then just do nothing about it.
Right. You still have to own up to your mistakes and learn from them. The burnt toast theory is about recognizing that there might be something good that comes out of that mistake, but it doesn't absolve you of responsibility.
Gotcha. So it's not a free pass to just screw up and expect the universe to clean up after you.
Definitely not. Another thing to watch out for is using the burnt toast theory to invalidate other people's feelings.
Like if someone is going through a really tough time, you can't just be like, hey, cheer up, it's probably a burnt toast moment.
Right. That's not helpful or empathetic. It's important to acknowledge other people's pain and be there for them without trying to force a positive spin on everything.
So basically, the burnt toast theory is a personal tool for navigating our own challenges and finding opportunities for growth. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution for every problem.
Exactly. And it's certainly not an excuse to be insensitive or dismissive of other people's experiences.
So it sounds like there's a delicate balance here between optimism and realism, between accepting what is and taking action to change what we can.
Absolutely. It's about finding that sweet spot where we can acknowledge the challenges we face while also maintaining a sense of hope and possibility.
And recognizing that sometimes those challenges, those burnt toast moments, they can actually lead to some pretty amazing things.
They can indeed. Sometimes those setbacks, they force us to reevaluate our priorities, to step outside of our comfort zones, to discover hidden strengths we didn't even know we had.
It's like that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Right. And sometimes those experiences that we initially perceive as negative, they can turn out to be the most transformative experiences of our lives.
That's a really empowering way to think about it.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the burnt toast theory, what's the key message you want our listeners to walk away with?
I think the most important thing to remember is that the burnt toast theory is a reminder that we have more control over our experiences than we often realize, even when things don't go according to plan.
We can choose how we respond. We can choose to look for the opportunities hidden within those challenges, and we can choose to use those setbacks as fuel for growth and positive change.
Beautifully said. It's about cultivating a mindset of resilience and possibility, a belief that even in the midst of burnt toast, there's always the potential for something delicious to emerge.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us, and remember, keep an open mind, an open heart, and maybe even an open toaster. You never know what amazing things might be waiting just around the corner.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.